Well, hi everybody. Hey, Linda Anderson here from Linda Lou Creates, and happy weekend, almost over. We've got a new week coming up, so I hope you have some great things planned for your week. Today, what I have planned is to share with you another one, and this one actually is my favorite of the designer series papers that are on sale this month. And this one is called Countryside Inn. And I think why I like it is not only are the patterns beautiful, but it's all blues, and blues are my favorite color. So, all right, so let's get started on these. First of all, Countryside Inn, yes. And the stamp set that I am featuring, it's not brand new to the catalog, but it is to me. I haven't used it yet, so I thought I would pull it out. All of these soft blues, just very serene, and I thought this was a perfect stamp set for it. A lot of, comfort and just, support then for friends and family. So let's start with this one, okay? And supplies. Here we go. I have a card base, white, and it's actually the thick basic white, top folding. That means it's 11 by 4 1/4. All of my card bases are the top folding like this tonight. So all with the same 11 by 4 1/4. 5 1/2 is where that score line is. Inside here, I stamped another of the anchors and figured I would write my message then accordingly. I have a piece of Night of Navy, 4 by 5 1/4. Now, this piece of the designer series paper, the Countryside Inn, there we go, designer series paper. This one measures, it's 1 1/2 by 4. I just went ahead and adhered it here. So let me go ahead, let's get this put right down onto the card base. So I hope you had a great weekend. Let me know what you did. I went to our community, had a carnival, and so I went to that with some friends, had a blast, saw a lot of people, haven't seen in a while, so that was really nice to be able to catch up with some friends that way. So all right, back to the card. I have this piece now of the designer series paper, and it is 2 3/4 by 4. Now, if you don't get all of the measurements, don't worry. I'm going to have these up on my blog here as soon as I'm done with my with this video. It will be up, lindaloucreates.com. So 2 3/4 by 4. Then below the mat on it is the boho blue, 3 by 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and adhere this down. So just right down the middle here. This is what I love to do. I love to just build using pattern papers, and sometimes I'll mat them, sometimes I won't. So, it's kind of depends. So, all right, now I'm going to let you get in a little bit of the process of what I did here. So here is the basic white. Let me just give you the measurements first. 1 3/4 by 3. That means then that the Night of Navy is 2 by 3 1/4. Now, initially, that's what I had. I had the anchor above the sentiment. I was like, not so sure I like that. So I ended up then stamping separately the anchor, again on some basic white. You can use, if you have circle punches or dies, then cut it out, get a mat. Again, I used the boho blue. And this way, I'm just going to put it right over top. And I think just that little addition of the dimension and that color was just what I needed for it. So this is fine, doing it this way. But I felt like this just added a little something to it. So, all right. So here we go. My 1 3/4 by 3 here. Lets me get some of the backings off here, and I'm popping this one up. If I can get it straight, I sure would put it down. There we go. And yes, you know, I do love my dimensionals. So, of course I'm going to have a bunch. So this now will go right over top. So let me just get my fingers out of the way. And there we go. I did not use any embellishments then for these cards. So here it is. My card is done. So now I can send it just to a friend. Certainly just to show that I care. I have next up, oops, here we go. This one with the bird, the dove out of it. Now that I stamped in Night of Navy, cut it out, and then I used a balmy blue marker, Stampin' Right marker, and just filled in the belly and the leaves. I wanted to keep it all in blues because at first I thought, oh, I'll make this pink or orange and I'll give it green leaves. I decided against that. I wanted to stick with the blues. So that's what I have there. So let me bring in now for all, so we can go through all of the measurements and everything. This time the card base, top folding, this is balmy blue, one of the subtle colors there. This piece of the designer series paper, I loved it. I specifically chose it because of it having the birds, and I wanted to be sure that, yeah, I went with that one. So let me just move this off to the side. Oh, let me just show you the inside, what I did. I had a piece of this striped DSP left over, and I put that in along with the sentiment from that same stamp set, the Hope and Prayer. So I have my 4x5 1/4. I'm going to adhere right through the center. Again, it's the same thing. It's 1.5 by 4. All right, so let me get that put down. It's actually the back of the same design. That's what I love about the two-sided or double-sided DSPs and pattern papers, because it gives you that much more to choose from then. Next up, this piece, it is, let me see, no, it is not. It is 2 by 4 1/4. Let me say that one more time. It is 2 by 4 1/2. All right, so 2 by 4 1/2. So that's just going to go here on the left side. I mean, look at that. How cute with the bunnies. Who knew that blue bunnies, beyond the ice cream that's called Blue Bunny, could be so cute. So let's get this down. And now I'm actually going to go ahead and adhere this down to my card base. So let me bring in the balmy blue card base and adhere this down. And I don't know what I would do if I didn't have pattern paper to work with. That is just so my thing. Sentiment stamped in Night of Navy. I used the Stylish Shapes dies in order to cut it out. This is the second to the largest. The Night of Navy layer is the largest of the circles. Adhered those together, and then I put all my dimensionals on the back. So we'll go ahead and put this down. And now I am just going to have the bird be kind of right up in this area. I don't know if my arm is in the way. But I have 2 dimensionals here where it hangs out over the circle, and then where it's going to overlap onto the circle is where I'm going to put a little bit of glue. So let me go ahead, peel those off, and let's get this down. And can I say one more thing for this one? It's done. Yep, card number 2 is done. sometimes all you have to do is just cut strips of paper and fit them in there. And it's just like you can create all day long with papers. So with pattern papers like this. So card number 2 is done. Let's go on to card number 3. So here we go on this one. Now the blues that are included in this paper are the boho blue, night of navy, balmy blue, and the misty moonlight. Misty moonlight was an in color a couple years ago, and it's come back, so it's returning. So that's what this card base is the misty moonlight. So again, like I said, top folding on that. I figured this would make a perfect sympathy card. So I found a sympathy sentiment to put on the inside. Let me find that set. I just did this Seaside Bay is the stamp set that I used. And so on the inside, again, I stamped the cross. All of this was in the Night of Navy, and then the heartfelt sympathy on the inside for this. So I also have a piece of the basic white, 4 by 5 1/4. Now for my DSP strips here, this blue one, it's 1 3/4 by 5. So let me go ahead and adhere this one down. So it's these cute little foxes in here. But look at all of these blues in here. Don't they just look awesome together? So yeah, again, like I said, my favorite color. So now this piece is 2 by 3. I think it was actually a little bit something left over from a previous project that I did. So here it is, 2 by 3. And I'm just going to overlap it a little bit on that other strip that's there. Now let's go ahead and get this down to the card base. So I have represented all of the blues then that coordinate with this paper. Like I said, I wanted to start throwing in some other colors and decided, nope, I am not gonna. So here, my sentiment on basic white. This is 4 inches long, 1 inch wide. Whatever you need as far as your sentiment whenever you make these, you know, change that measurement accordingly. So this is 1 by 4. Then I'm using the boho blue underneath it, and that one then is 1 1/4 by 4. So let's go ahead and put this down next. Just straight across it goes. I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. And now for my focal image, I did the cross on a piece of white cardstock, and this is 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. This is actually then the balmy blue, and that is 1 1/2 by 2. So those are the measurements for those. Stamped again, Night of Navy. That was the only color of ink that I used on all of my cards. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I have a little bit of my dimensionals. And now I'm going to pop this up right here. You can tell when I'm concentrating. I can't talk and pay attention at the same time. So here we go. My last of the blues cards using the Countryside Inn DSP. Remember, this is 15% off. It is good through the end of June, so don't miss out. Pick up an extra pack of this paper. It is gorgeous. All right, my absolute favorite. I'm going to have to order more now because I've been playing a lot with it. So So let me bring in all of the cards that I made today. Hopefully I didn't go out of screen too much because I was so busy paying attention to the cards. I wasn't paying attention, which I normally don't. So my apologies there. So here are the 3 cards. Like I said, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to get these uploaded to my blog and Linda Lou Creates. That way there'll be a list of the measurements. There'll also be a listing of the products used. And again, pick up some of that paper. You won't be disappointed. So, all right. Hey, I want you to have a great week, and I will see you next weekend. Bye now.